Hey YouTube, Peterbilt Knife Guy. Today we're going to be taking a little deeper look into this TOPS Moccasin Ranger and go over some of the features that I like about it and that I dislike about it and things that I would change. There's a few things actually. So first off, let's just go over the sheath. The sheath's awesome. It is what it is, and you know, I'm a big fan of replacing sheaths on things, but I really feel that this sheath is more than adequate and well done for this knife. So you know what? Good on TOPS for making a good sheath for once. They don't always do that. Next, this knife right here is incredibly thick. It is a full 1/4 inch for a knife that from the guard, you're looking at about 6.5 inches. That is just a tank. So first off, this knife is not a survival knife. This is not a bushcraft knife. I guess it could be a hunting knife, but God, why would you want to carry this moose with you when you're hunting? The only thing I could think this knife could be good for is stabbing hogs. But the problem is then again, you only have a 6.5 inch blade. I think when you go hog hunting, you want that longer blade to stick in more. So I don't see this as a hunting knife either. The category this falls into me is more of a fighting knife. And for being a fighting knife, this thing weighs, what is it, 15.3 ounces? It's 0.7 ounces away from being a pound. That is just not fast. That's not a fast knife. If this stock, and this pains me to say it because I'm a thick knife freak, I love my knives thick and chunky, but for the purposes of this knife, I would say this should be 3/16 stock. I think this should be 3/16 stock, and also that would clear up another issue with the grind on this thing. The edge bevel is just so steep that, I mean, it'll cut, don't get me wrong, it'll cut, but I had to bring it down, and it's still steep. It's still a very fat angle, but the problem is we got a 1/4 inch thick chunk of steel here, and from the top of this saber grind to the cutting edge, we're looking at, Jesus, what is that, 9/16 roughly, you know, just a hair over 1/2 inch. That is a very short transition between this 1/4 inch, which comes down to let's see, 2/3 of this knife roughly, to start sloping down to get to hit to that edge bevel, you know, where that edge bevel will be put on afterwards. That is just a very, very steep angle, to where if this thing was just straight, like, let's call it a Scandi ground, if this was Scandi ground from here to there, that would still be a super steep angle, because it's going from 0 degrees to a 1/4 inch and 9/16 of an inch length. That is a chunky, robust edge. Now, for a knife that I think should be a fighting knife, you don't need it to be that robust at the edge, because you are mainly poking. I would assume maybe some slashing, but I would say poking would probably be your #1 thing you're going to be doing. That would clear that up. Secondly, it has this jimping. This jimping's cool. It's not very aggressive, so that's good. Also, the finger choil. I would ditch this finger choil because, like I said, it is not a bushcraft knife to me. It's not something to where I'm going to need to choke up. And honestly, if I'm holding right here and this was sharpened back further, I could do the same thing, right? I don't see it. I don't see the need for it. I would have much rather that cutting edge come further back. Just my opinion. I know people like their finger choils. I like them on some knives. I don't see the point of it on this knife. And also, when you're holding it there, you're not even on the jimping anymore. What's the point of that? You are like this, but you got a finger choil. So I don't know. Someone explain to me in the comments why that finger choil is there. I would get rid of it. I would rather just see this just moved back to there with a little sharpening choil. That'd be awesome. Next is, if you have smaller hands, this handle
is for you. I would say large to medium hands is what this is meant for. Medium, small hands, you'd probably, it would fill up your hand for sure, but I'm running out of knife, or handle at least, when holding this. And I think the way to fix this would be to, I would have this scale just fill the whole thing. This whole thing was handle scale, so when you choked back up on it like this, it is not going to dig into you, because it does dig into you a lot, actually. And so much to where I was thinking about going in here and marking on these scales and beveling this off about 45 degrees, just knocking off that sharp corner all the way around here to where, yeah, it might dig in, but it's going to dig in more rounded than just two sharp points. It's, that might help it. But then again, this isn't a chopping knife, but it does have the capability to chop. It just hurts really bad. And I'm not the type of person who wants to wear gloves, because I want my hands to be rough, because I don't need for lack of better words, I don't need bitch mittens. If I'm out and about and I need to do something, I don't want to be like, oh, where's my gloves? I just lotioned my fingers. No, I'd rather my hands be tough enough to not need gloves. Now, will I wear them? Sometimes, sure. But for the most part, I'm not a glove wearer. I don't mind my hands being beat up, because that just means if I pick up a shovel or something like that and use it for an hour, I'm not going to get a blister and start crying. A little rant. But anyways, yeah, I would definitely do something about the scales on the handle. And another thing, just a visual effect. I don't like how this is round. I wish this kind of went, let's see here, like that. If these scales came back and went up and around, squared this off a little bit more, angle, I don't care, but even like that, I would much prefer this to come out and have kind of like more squarish angles, something like up front here, but back here. I think that might help the handle issue a little bit. I was thinking about maybe just knocking this whole end off, but then again, it's such a small handle for somebody with extra large hands that it doesn't really, it's not going to do me no good. It's actually going to hinder me, because then, yeah, I'm going to have nothing for my pinky to hold on to. But whatever. Another thing, I would probably want to get rid of the slot. I don't understand the slot here. I would have preferred just a hole, and this whole thing just confuses me on this knife. The round scales, the squared off here, the openness, this down here to just dig into your little fatty meats while you're chopping or whatever. If I squeeze it tight, you can see it digs in right there and right there. That's from it digging in. But I don't understand the slot. Does anybody know why there is a slot on this? This thing is supposedly designed after, somebody in World War II, the guy who threw the knife, made the longest knife kill in the military or whatever, holds the record. I guess it was an Indian. They were Native Americans. But yeah, I don't understand it. So maybe if you know more on the history of this, let me know why this is designed like this, or if this is just a TOPS design feature. I don't know. But other than that, it sounds like I'm complaining a lot. I'm really not. I really do love the robustness of this knife. It is a comfortable knife to use as just a regular knife. Oh, what's the point of this jimping right here? I don't understand that also. That was another thing I was going to talk about. I don't see the point of it being jimped for the palm of my hand. And when you're holding it like this, I don't see the point of jimping for the palm of my hand. I don't get it. If somebody knows, please explain it to me, even if I try to do that, which is stupid, because if you try to stab and you slip, you are gonna really, really be hurting on a finger. But what's the point of this? I don't understand it. Someone please explain. But anyways, I do like the knife. I think it's a good buy. I am happy to have it. And I just have some some things that I would change about it if I were, let's say I designed this knife and I had to redesign it. A TOPS Moccasin Ranger 2.0. Or, you know what I mean? TOPS Moccasin Ranger 2.0 if I had to. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Oh, yeah, this edge also too that I put on here is freaking fantastic. It made this knife from a sharpened pry bar to a sharpened pry bar with a actual slicey edge. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching.